Hello and welcome, all you animation fans, to another episode of Talking 2D. I'm your
Woo!
host, Duuz-Diz-Din, here with my fabulous and illustrious co-host.
The man with the iron giblets.
Yeah, that's some iron for your ass. And we are talking about our favorite animation from the past week once again. Let's start off with our favorite, One Piece.
And this is the point where the legend of the goat takes a real tragic turn.
Yeah, but before that, we got some amazing animation. Like, my
Oh
god.
my god, it was so fucking beautiful.
Like, dude. They really were bringing their A game this time around. It's like so incredible. Like the range of movement when he was just fighting off Kaido and taking him on. Like, man, that's how you do a
Oh, just like
battle.
the way his swords would like move like individually as he's like running along.
Yes.
Oh god, it was so great.
And you could really feel the sheer size of Kaido. So one thing about the anime, well, the manga that sometimes gets a little questionable is kind of the size of Kaido sometimes, because sometimes he doesn't feel as big as he should be. Other times he feels a lot bigger than he's been portrayed. But here it's just like he is massive. Like, my god, just the way he was running alongside, it's just like, if you ever wanted to see what it would be like to fight Shenron, there you go. It's no walk in the park, man.
Basically. Have you noticed that like One Piece is really leaning towards kaiju sized enemies now?
I mean, yeah. well, well, One Piece has always kind of had that tendency to have these enemies who are just way too big. But now it's
Larger than
just like,
life.
now we've taken it to a whole nother level. Like, these guys are just huge. It's insanity.
Yeah, I feel like Oda's finally kind of getting back to like most of the fun parts of One Piece because like I've been rewatching and rereading Little Garden. It's just like wow, he went wild with this one fucking place just because he wanted to draw dinosaurs, and now I'm kind of getting that same vibe here again, and it's just like I'm happy to see it. Dinosaurs in feudal Japan, yes, I'm here for it.
See, the funny thing about that is I've heard interviews where Oda has talked about the fact that before the time skip, he would just insert any idea that kind of just crossed his mind, like how the warlords was an idea he came up with on the fly, the friggin' supernovas was an idea he came up on the fly. Yeah, he would just make these incredible. Hell, even Vivi was an idea he came up with on the fly. So all these massive story arcs and side stories were all just side ideas he came up with, to the point where after the time skip he had to just buckle down and stop inserting side stories because the manga would never end at the rate he was going.
Yeah, we really saw that in Dressrosa. I mean, my God, how many backstories did we touch on in that fucking arc alone?
It's really hard to tell with that one because it's just like there was just a lot in Dressrosa. There was a lot. But I mean, people are either like, Dressrosa was the absurdly long one. No, Whole Cake Island was the absurdly long one. Honestly, it's hard for me to tell which one was longer. Technically, Whole Cake Island was, but Dressrosa, probably because the anime, felt a lot longer.
Hmm. Well, remember when I picked up Dressrosa, I was just like straight binging it because I knew that like it was going to be kind of a long arc. And honestly, by the time I caught up, the arc still wasn't even done.
Oh boy. Yeah, it was no picnic to read through it. Not hating on anything that Oda does, but at the same time, it was just like, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Like, my God, how much more do we need to know? We get it. This fucking feather boa wearing motherfucker's an asshole. Can we please see him get his face smashed in? The face is getting smashed in. Kaido would have gotten his outright if Higurashi didn't fucking step in and do her clone fruit bullshit. I hate to say it, but I really like her laugh. I really don't like to say it, but I do like I've always liked the weird ass laughs in One Piece, but that one's my current favorite.
Oh my god. I can't blame you for that one. I just, God, I can't stand looking at her face. It's not even like coming from a place of hate. It's just that two-tone bullshit with the black thief. Like, we've talked about it before, but God, every time I see it, just, it's a freaking nightmare. I feel like going on a whole Ijima spiel about that. It's just like, your face is haunting.
just hit her with like the weasel style roast to Deadpool. I mean,
like,
you know what?
Like an avocado had sex with an uglier and moldier avocado.
It wasn't even like loving either. This was just like straight hate fucking. This was the only way to get any sort of catharsis without resorting to physical violence.
Like, man, Oda went all in with just making her the most ugly thing possible. Like, my God. Like,
I mean, listen, people always say he draws one type of woman, and, you know, when it comes to, like, the beautiful kind, I'll agree to that. But when it comes to, like, you know, making a woman look a specific way for plot reasons, he knows how to have some variety. We just don't see a lot of it.
Nah, that's why it's always a treat when he does.
Yep.
Oh, man. Although, one thing I will say that I'm kind of disappointed with the animation team on is the fact that while Oden's last hurrah was phenomenal, spectacular, when it came for the time for the Scabbers to be taken out of the picture, it was just like, boom, they're done. I'm like, I expected to see them, like, ganged up on or something, not just pistol whipped over the head with a torch by Queen. I'm just like, you could have done a little bit more with that.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, to me, I think that's just gonna, like, raise the stakes all the more because, you know, now when, spoilers, they finally do get to Onigashima and shit starts going down, they're really gonna give it like their all, so that, you know, when the fight with Kaido finally happens, it's, oh man, that shit is gonna be fucking beautiful.
Oh God, and so much time has kind of passed in the manga. Like, man, we have been milking this Oden stuff, but at the same time, if you were going to milk anything, it might as well be the Oden stuff. So, like, there's a wealth of stuff you can do with the anime now. Like, there's an abundance. There is an abundance. There is no need for filler at this point.
I feel like the whole Oden flashback is the thing you wanted to milk the most because it had so much of the most relevant information to the One Piece plot in general, realistically.
True.
I mean, they covered Roger's journey to Laugh Tale. Like, we'd been wondering about that for literal years.
Yeah.
Years, my guy. And while we still never got all the answers, we know how he got there. We know how he got there, and we had no idea beforehand. Like, you know, before this flashback started in 2019, everybody up until 2018 was just like, bro, how the fuck did he get there? Like, how did he get all the poneglyphs? How did he do it? And then you see, you know, he linked up with Oden, and it's just like, oh, that's how. That's dope.
That is true. It was always a question of, like, how did he know how to read and write in this style? It's just like, he had a translator. There we go.
Which only makes Robin's position on the crew that much more relevant.
Oh yeah, but that's always been pretty obvious ever since we learned of her backstory. Hell, even ever since we got to Alabaster, it was just like, okay, yeah, Nico Robin just needs to stick around because she knows things that we need to know about this world.
I took a break from the anime, rather from what Netflix has, and Netflix has all the way up until Alabasta. So I recently after finishing Drum Kingdom, I knew Alabasta was next, and I thought, let me catch up to that part in the manga. You know, just to keep like a consistent, keep it all fresh in my mind, and try and compare details here and there. You know,
Right.
but I feel like I'm actually like experiencing it all like from a different perspective, because I remember when I first started watching One Piece, I was really invested in everything, but I remember in the back of my mind the biggest thing that I really wanted to focus on was that one bit I managed to see when I was way younger and knew nothing about it. It was just on TV at the time.
Yes.
And I feel like that kind of took away from me enjoying Alabasta as much, because, you know, everybody loves Alabasta. Everybody loves Vivi, but I'm just like the one person here who's just like, I don't know. She wasn't my favorite. She felt like a plot device a lot of the time. She explained a lot of things that happened on not just the Grand Line, but in Alabasta in general, of, you know, why things are the way they are. And it's just like, that's great. Why do you as a princess know all this? Is my question.
Because she had infiltrated Baroque Works for a minimum of a year. I mean, she infiltrated Baroque Works, was there for like around a year. I mean, she knew a lot of detailed information. Like, if she had. You infiltrate a criminal organization that is basically controlling a good chunk of the Grand Line, and you come out of that with no information to share whatsoever, might as well have thrown the bitch overboard at that point. I'm just saying, like, like you better be knowledgeable. Like shit, you put your life at stake and you came out with nothing but a few names. That doesn't help anybody.
Honestly, that is a fair point. That is an actually decently fair point. I never thought of it that way, just because the unfortunate truth is Vivi had like zero fighting skills whatsoever, and it's just like, how the fuck did you become one of the top agents in a syndicate of assassins, and you suck this hard?
Well, see, that's the unfortunate part.
That was my big issue.
The unfortunate part is that she has no fighting skills in comparison to everyone on the Straw Hat crew, which tends to be the name of the game with this series. Power creep exists in One Piece, not as prevalently, but it does exist. To a normal person, she's fairly powerful. To someone who's fairly powerful, she's dookie. Like dookie on your bottom of your shoe. She's nothing. She is absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like,
she's a twig.
Like, she would go toe-to-toe with Nami at that point, and she'd probably be a bit of a challenge, and that's literally about it. And that's just how it goes. Like, you're talking about the before time, before, like, when the most capable people were just guys who could fight pretty well. Like, don't forget, like, her partner was just a dude who was pretty good with a bat. And you also had number 4, Mr. 4, who was better with a bat. Like, that's the grading scale. Like, one guy who's good with 2 bats, another guy who's good with 1 bat. A higher position of about, what was it, 5 placements? Like, let's be real. Without Miss Merry Christmas, Mr. 4 ain't shit.
That is very true. Even with his, like, ridiculous dog gun.
Yes.
It's not a gun dog. It's a dog gun. Fucking lasso is the weirdest fucking thing that's ever come out of One Piece.
Yeah,
That's
just
that
because
like,
it was
same thing with
Funk Freed.
Same thing. Funk Freed, yeah. I was gonna say Funk Freed. It's just like, bro, you say that you fed weapons devil fruits, but everybody in the entire world is just kind of looking around, scratching their heads like, how? How did you do this? I don't understand.
And that was always the funny thing, because it was just like, yeah, Dr. Vegapunk came up with this idea of how to feed devil fruit to weapons. How? I demand to know how. Like, you could bypass everything else in this series and leave no other explanation. Fine. Fucking fine. But you explain to me how you fed food to a weapon. To a certain degree, I can kind of buy it with lasso if you just, like, I don't know, put it in the barrel or some shit. That's weird, but okay. But then you get to Funk Freed, and I'm just like, that's a fucking sword. No. No. I've tried to think about it so many times. It's like, did you bathe the sword in its juices or something? Did you juice the devil fruit? Is that what you did? Did you soak it in the devil fruit juices? Is that how this works? Like, god damn it, give me answers.
You know what I always wondered? I always wondered if, like, they took the core out of the fruit, shoved that in, and then just, like, put a cap on it or some shit.
Like, just left it there overnight. Like,
but it make absolutely no fucking sense at all whatsoever, realistically speaking. And I need to know how. I need to know how. And I bet Oda's just like, yeah, me too. I'd love to know how to.
I mean, like, Oda's given us plenty of bullshit explanations on a lot of things. It's just like, how do these characters grow back their teeth? Well, if you drink some milk, the calcium enrichment grows back some bones. I'm like, that's not how milk works, but it's some kind of explanation. I'll take it.
I mean, it makes perfect cartoon sense.
like, if that's the logic you want to go with, fine. That's bullshit, but I'll take it. Oh no, I just need some kind of explanation at some point. Like, that's the thing about when we finally do get around to meeting Dr. Vegapunk. It's just like, look, this man better come with a whole list of answers to things. He better be the most chatty motherfucker in the entire world. Because I want him to just start spouting off all these things we've never known before. I want him to have verbal diarrhea. Just start spouting off all these things that we've never learned in a more common setting. Because, you know, seriously, with all the things that Dr. Vegapunk has done within the One Piece world, it's just like, nah. I need you to explain how do. How do.
Seriously, just make him the kind of guy who really wants to geek out about all the crazy shit he's been doing. Just be like, yo, have you seen this shit that I've done? Because I know a lot of people have, but do you know how it happened? Because I want to explain to people how it happened, because it's fucking amazing. I want Dr. Vegapunk to be that kind of guy.
All in a Rick voice.
Yes. With the belching and everything.
Chopper! I need to tell you how I gave devil fruits to weapons. It'll blow your mind.
First, I turned myself into a pickle. What? I turned myself into a pickle.
It's the pickle fruit. I invented it myself. Don't ask me why. gotten so far off topic with this.
Yes, we have.
And I've loved every second of it. Uh, but yeah. Dude. Next episode's gonna be a bummer, though. It's gonna be such a bummer.
I mean, next episode is gonna hurt for like 30 straight minutes because you know they're gonna milk that whole boiling in oil scene.
Mm-hmm. It's true. With the way they're gonna do it, it's just like you're gonna feel like you're boiling in oil after all of that.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to it, but hating it at the same time. It's just like, oof, oof, ooh, no.
It's gonna
I'll
hurt
get into
so
it
good.
later, but listen, I'll get into it later. But I was watching Higurashi the other day, and let's just say somebody stopped feeling their legs for very good reason. I'm just like, oh,
Ugh.
oh, oh, it looks so painful.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, who wants to live like that? Who wants to live through that?
No. No. That poor bastard who just straight up tripped and fell in. Like, he was acting so big and pompous. It's just like, where you think you're going, Oden? Don't be playing around, get in the oil. And he just trips and falls in, and it's just like, oh, you poor bastard. Right? Like, seriously. What a mistake to make. Like, seriously. Ugh.
Well, you know, that's just to demonstrate just how hot that fucking oil is. It's like you do not want to fall in this shit. You do not want to. Okay, a normal person is immediately dead. Look at him. Look at him. He crawls out. He reaches out for help. Then plop, dead.
Like, it's show. Yeah, we're not fucking around. This is the boilingest of oils. Like, it's instant death. It is the instant death. Like, even if Oden manages to survive in this shit, he will have the most fucked up legs imaginable. There is no getting out of this unscathed.
Like he's going to have the most painful existence ever if he comes out of this. So, you know, on one level, thankfully, he doesn't, but on another, it's really sad.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that. This episode's really going to hurt, and it's going to be really sad, and you know, it's just going to set up all those emotions and feelings that we feel at, I'm going to say episode 1000, when Luffy finally lands a good punch right on Kaido's fucking jaw.
I mean, we're at, like, what was it, 972, so maybe.
Yeah, we're still going to have to get through 30 episodes of the beginning of the Onigashima raid, realistically.
Yeah.
But hey, at least we'll get to see Zoro put down Apu. That's going to be the fucking best episode ever. Fuck you, Queen. Fuck you, Apu. Fuck you, everybody. I'm going upstairs.
Like, you say that, but Apu's still running around, and I'm just like, Apu, how you not dead? Like, that must be why you're a supernova, because you have the endurance of a cockroach. Like, every strike, you just seem to just get right the fuck back up and keep running around. I'm just like, Apu, it was originally your powers that were impressive, but at this point, it's just your endurance.
I mean, I never said, like, Apu was dead. I mean, like, technically, Zoro didn't even beat Queen when he said, fuck you to Queen. He's just like, fuck this game. I'm not doing this shit. Like, he fucks Apu up, but surprisingly, he still gets back up.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Queen's whole plan to have him drag out this demon bullshit ends much quicker because Zoro said, nah, we not playing this game.
Mm-hmm. I'm all for it.
Yeah. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. We're here in the present, and the present is not great. The future is not looking so great either, but it'll get better after that. It's got to get worse before it gets better.
Exactly. Alright, ready to move on?
Yes! There was no new chapter this week, thanks to Golden Week. Hey, everyone in Japan, please have a wonderful week off. We don't get that shit here in America, so I'm envious as shit of all of you.
Yeah, it is what it is. Considering current epidemic, like a lot of people have been kind of having an involuntary year off at this point.
That's true. I have been enjoying my involuntary year off, to be perfectly honest.